Hey, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Last day for you in school in March. Next day we meet will be April 1st. Or will we? It's April Fool's Day. Anyway, today is March 30th, 2021. We made it. Things are looking up, still positive. You're all, got this final push to go. All right. So, hey, I'm going to get right to it so that today's video is a little shorter. Boom, we got our World Gods winner we got to declare, and we have our quill day 2 that I want to get to. We got more notes on text features and start brainstorming ideas for your book. We'll get to that a little bit later. But first off, here we go. Big time news. We had Zeus, the number 1 seed, going up against Wakan Tanka, the number 2 seed. And the votes are in. Drum roll. Boom! Talk about a last-minute win. Wakan Tanka takes the World Gods Championship, the Final 4 to the Final 2 to the championship by 1 vote. That is as close as it comes, people. And so Wakan Tanka is our World God Champion, which means the Native American community will celebrate that their deity, or at least one tribe's deity, the Lakota, they went up. So the Greeks step aside, and the Native American Lakota community celebrates tonight with their creator deity, their creator god, as the winner of this championship. So the people have spoken, and that's who wins. Nice job on that, and also your explanations. All right. First things first, though, in terms of work today. So now that's behind us. Quill is something we did yesterday. Those of you in class with me today, we'll make sure we get you hooked up. Those of you that were in class with me yesterday, this is the same deal. It's, again, to remind you that it's independent. There's no judgment. I just want to see where you're at. So this is the second thing you're going to do today, and it's review and assessment. So you're doing the same thing you did yesterday, just a little bit different skill set, a little bit ticked up in terms of more difficulty. And again, remind you that the class code really is your name, and it's at magnet-pin. And again, the login information is in Schoology for today. It's right here, right there, login information. So you can click on that and scroll down to your name, and it walks you literally right through the whole process. Right there it is. As soon as it pops up, I can go scroll down here and find my name. So if it's, anyone, it's Antonio, I can just follow that information. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Again, day 2, complete your next diagnostic. I'd like you to try to finish in 30 minutes, but again, if you're at home, you have more time. In class, we'll try to do 30, and that's what I want you to do. And then all I want you to do is when you're done, take your pick of the last screen and submit. That's it. All right. So I just want to see you submit the last screen so that I know that you did the thing for today. That's it. That's all you're submitting for this. All right. Again, to remind you that we're talking about text structures versus text features. We're going to continue notes on that. And remember, structures are a decision that you make on what kind of frame you want to speak from. Do you want to talk about a subject through sequence, or through compare contrast, cause and effect, or problem solution? A feature is, how do I want to display that? Once I decide I'm doing a structure of sequential writing, then I might say like a timeline or a map or a diagram might be the best way to show that information. So these are decisions that writers make. And we're taking notes on these features in this document right here, which again is right here. This note sheet right here. So if you haven't done it, that's what you download. Okay. Now, this sheet right here, this is all we did yesterday. Is we did title page, and table of contents. So these are the notes that we should have already taken on that sheet in Notability. And we're going to move on to more. So this is text feature number 4. This is the index. All right. Now, here's the thing about index. It's usually at the end of a book. And what it does is it tells on what pages that things can be found. Okay, pretty helpful, because it really allows the reader to pinpoint ideas, topics, subjects, or even keywords that you remember, but you don't want to page through the whole book and be like, oh my God, where did I find that? So like, for instance, Brief History of Time, this is the book I'm using here. I remember this word event horizon, and I really want to remember, I want to read about it again. So I want to go back. Or I'm studying the word event horizon, and I found this book on black holes. So I can go to the index, and there it is. I can see that event horizon, the word shows up on 87, 88, 89, 99, and 184. So I can go right to those pages. That's an index. So that's the information you should be taking on this document. Text feature number 5 is the glossary. All right, now this is the purpose. It tells the definitions of some of the words found in a text. So take your notes right there. But I want to remind you, this allows the reader to get quick definitions for important words that are key to understanding the definition. It basically gives the reader a fighting chance when they're reading something and there's a bunch of words they don't know. So for instance, Blind Man's Bluff, a book that's about espionage, I have to understand what espionage is before I can read about it. So espionage would be a glossary term that would probably be in there. All right, that's number 5, glossary. Number 6. This is headings. All right. Now these are like sort of sub like things. Like here's an example. So this section's on central nervous system. Heading would be brain, and a heading would be spinal cord. This divides the text into sections and explains what the sections will be about. Okay, so that's the purpose. That's what you need to write in your notes at least. Really, it allows the reader to get a more specific, detailed sense of sections of the information. Actually, it helps me skip around in an organized manner, instead of just being like, oh, I'm just going to jump ahead. All right. Instead of doing that, I can pinpoint, like, find sections about the central nervous system, and then I can find the section about the brain, because that's what I want to read about. It's a very textbooky concept, right? Headings often show up in textbooks more than they do in anything else, because they're really about like trying to organize that information. All right, that's number 6. And lastly, number 7, this is an easy one, photograph. It shows what something looks like, and it's taken with a camera. I want to be very clear that a photograph, this is important information, is different than an illustration or a diagram or a graphic. And a photograph is an actual image. For instance, it's very real and it's authentic, and it's about something being described or explained in the text. It's not an illustration. So for instance, if I'm reading the Da Vinci Code and they talk about the Mona Lisa a lot, in fact, they talk about the problems with like the Mona Lisa and what it might be hiding. There's a secret there. Well, in the book, there is a section that has a photograph of the Mona Lisa, so I can stare at it, and it's a photograph of it. It's a real image of it, and I can look at it. Even though it's a painting, it's a photo of the painting that helps me go through the things they're talking about and be like, oh, I see what there's what they're explaining. Whoa, I see it too. So it's really about giving the reader a chance to see what's being described. Okay? Now, that's your notes for today, okay? So you now should have up to 7 notes on this sheet right here. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We got down the photograph. What I want you to do now, one last piece, is open up your reader's notebook to the writing about reading section. Okay, that's the green, okay, the green. And what I want you to do is title that page, My Nonfiction Book. All right, and you're like, whoa, Mr. Slavy, what are we talking about here? Just trust me. And I want you to list 5 to 10 things that you know something about but want to learn a bit more about. So you have to have some good working knowledge of something. Just 5 ideas, right? If I started off the top of my head, college basketball, amateur wrestling, Marvel Comics, baseball history, authors, young adult literature, school concepts of like assessments, so summative versus formative. Oh, movies. I know a lot about movie making, movie history. So I could start brainstorming these things I know a lot about. Here's what I want you to do. List 5 to 10 things that you know something about but want to learn more. I can learn about more in everything I just said. The bigger, the better. So for instance, big concepts like the ocean, it's a good place to start if you know something about the ocean. Boating on the ocean is even pretty big and pretty good. But the more specific you are, the harder this gets to make like work. So stay away from things like, if you're thinking of ocean big, boating on the ocean, a little smaller, but still big. A 1955 Chris Craft 21-foot Capri boat, which is this boat right here, not great, because you're limited on, if you know a lot about that boat, you're going to run into like some stoppage point when you're like, I don't even know where to find sources about this. So keep it simple, okay? So here's your work for today. Finish quill, submit photo of final screen for your assignment for today. Take notes on text structures 4 through 7, and then create some brainstorming ideas in Reader's Notebook. All right, that's it for today. And we will see you later.